Episode 1. Good joke. Oh, yes, we are back, baby. Season 5, Episode 1. The journey starts here. The last couple of years started around this time of year, took us all the way to the Stanley Cup Final and beyond. Cannot wait to get this thing going. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Jason Strudwick is standing by. Rob Brown will have tonight. And how about David Staples from the Cult of Hockey making his Got Your Back debut on episode 1 of season 5. Our show proudly presented by our brand spanking new title sponsor. You know their name. You've heard it lots here on the show. Timber Hoss Developments. Thrilled to have Timber Hoss come on board as title sponsor for the next couple of seasons here on Got Your Back. The leader in custom and infill developments, the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to life. If you're tired of cookie cutter, copy and paste designs with no soul, you got to go see the team at Timber Hoss and discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. Take all the guesswork out of your infill project and work with experienced leaders. Visit timberhoss.ca. We're going to be hearing a lot about Timber Hoss on this upcoming season and here in our studios as we welcome Jason Strudwick and Chris Sabunia. Boys, the studios are going to be a focal point here for the next little bit. Struddy, you've already had some work done on yours. We're going to debut that. There it is. Boom.
There it is.
That is a big change, Struds. That's a big change in the Timber Hoss studio for you.
Yeah, well, they leaned on me, right? They leaned on me to get it done and to upgrade and to something they could be proud of. So here I am. I took everything out of my office. I painted everything, new lighting. Obviously, you can see behind me, I've got a new desk. Everything is new and a new chair. Although this one, I think I'm going to get a different one this one. But anyways, whole new setup and I'm loving it.
What do you think, Zuby? As our technical director, are you approving of everything going on there?
I love it. I like the little touches. I like the chess pieces. I like we're getting a little biophilic over on the one side there.
Yep.
I love it, and the lighting looks good, and the new mic. I mean, this is a complete overhaul in the Struddy den.
Already some comments on the stream. The chess pieces are getting some attention, Struds. The chess pieces.
Yeah, so I try to incorporate my friend Denise. She helped me. She did an unreal job, and so I try to put little things that are me that I like, and it's a little bit tight in this area, but they're like right above me here. That's a gargoyle I got when I was 20, and I read somewhere that they ward off evil spirits, and I've had it for 30 years, and I think it's brought me a lot of luck. So this bad boy right here is a gargoyle that brought me a lot of luck. So that's one piece. There'll be others as we go through the year.
Now, what's above the chess pieces? I can't really see what that is up there.
Yeah. So just to over here, this is an album. It is ABBA. I have multiple ABBA albums, and this one is one of my favorites. I have 2 others. That's the Voulez-Vous album. Great album if you're into it. So yeah, so little figurine. I got a little touches, things. She's like, make it so it's your interest, not anybody else's. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So she helped me out. She did a great job.
Yeah, it looks good, buddy. It looks good. So not only is Timber Hoss our title sponsor, they're our studio sponsor this year as well. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, there will be an upgrade here in the main Got Your Back studio here in Sherwood Park. Going to redo the wall behind, that matching paneling that you and I had the last 2 years. That's
right.
How it's. Yeah, Timber Hoss is like, that's not biophilic. We're getting rid of that. So I think we're going to have a nice light wood on the wall. We'll redo the shelves. We'll get some plants going in here. We're going to brighten up the Timber Hoss studio in the next month or so. So looking forward to it. Man, I'm so excited we're rolling again, Struds. It's going to be 4 episodes a week. We're going to be hitting it hard between now and the start of the regular season, and then it just takes off from there. But boys, really happy to be back, Struds. Like, the time off was nice. but man, I've been feeling this for like a week. Like, let's get her going.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. I think that, it's been great. Every year has been great. And I think this year presents new storylines for the team. And I'm excited to see how it fits together, and how it all works together, not just here in Edmonton, but other teams they're going to be playing against. So, yeah, I can't wait to get going. I know Brownie's feeling good. I've seen him a bit. And Zoobs is all fired up. So, yeah, it'll be a good one, guys. Hang on to your hats, guys and girls.
Zuby, what can people expect? A little different in the chat already. I see some different little emojis and icons and some new rules in the chat. Like, what's the live experience adjustment for people going to be quickly?
I don't think there's going to be much of an adjustment. We did change to subscribers only can chat. I think you have to be subscribed for 5 minutes. So if you're trying to troll us, you have to be committed to, I'm going to watch these clowns for another 5 minutes before I get my little jab in here. But no, none of the rules have changed. We got some other things we're going to roll out. We can't, it's not like I held the hose and then pinched it and let everything out at once. We got to spread it out. Yeah. Especially over September. We got, before the real games start, we'll have some time to fill in a few things. And as for me, I'm glad you guys are in hockey mode. I'm in baseball mode. I won my baseball fantasy league yesterday for the first time. My mom asked me how the Jays, I was talking to my mom. She said, "Did you see the Jays game today?" I said, "No, I didn't see the Jays game today. Didn't baseball end yesterday? My fantasy league ended yesterday and I won and now I don't care again." No, I'll transition to hockey. I'm not there yet. I'm in fantasy football and fantasy baseball mode for now. But yeah, we're going to have some fun. We got some new things we're going to see tonight, see and hear, and we're going to have a lot more as the season goes on, especially, like I said, we'll roll out lots of fun stuff here in September.
JL says, how many pieces in Struddy's background did he get off Facebook Marketplace? Struds, was there a little bargain shopping being done?
No, these are all things I acquired over a number of years and then this summer. And then I am going to probably be putting some things up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. So keep your eyes peeled and there'll be no deals cut. It's a value. The number is a number. Don't grind me for $3.
You know what we should do? We should have a Marketplace shelf where you put something on your shelf for a week and then sell it after it's been on your shelf. And we'll donate the money to UCAN or something.
Might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, I love selling things on there, but the number's the number. I give it a fair number. Okay. That's the value.
No haggling. All right, good to know.
Any marketplace dealings you're having, Struddy, have to be involved in the show. They must be part of this show.
Yeah, we got our first bid in. Gord Parchewski says $2 for that pawn. So the $2 bid is in for that pawn over your shoulder there, Struds. I feel like it's going to be a little higher than that.
It's autographed, so it's worth more than that.
So we're also going to unveil some new partners on the show this year. We have some fantastic, fabulous new partners that have signed on to be part of the Got Your Back team, and looking forward to working with them. Some great companies. You're going to recognize a lot of these names, and fantastic to have them on board. And with that, let's get to our breakdown, shall we? Brought to you by one of those new partners. Oh, we're excited about this one. How about the Canadian Brew House? During every Oiler game day, the Canadian Brew House is your hockey headquarters. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets and sip $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light only at Brew House. It's an Edmonton-born company, but boy, is it expanded. 48 locations across Canada, but they are born and true here in Edmonton, and we're absolutely thrilled to have the Canadian Brew House on board. Maybe some on locations happening this year as well, Struds. So yes. Fired up to have the Canadian. Is there a better place to go and watch the game than the Canadian Brew House?
Oh, I love it. I love it over there. I spent time. It's a lot of good locations and good people in there for sure.
Right on. All right. And with that, we say hello, making his Got Your Back debut, the one and only David Staples from the Cult of Hockey. Dave, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you.
I'm good. I'm thrilled to be here, man. Like, this is the Got Your Back podcast, home of the Weiss Johnson jingle. I love that jingle.
Yeah.
I love it. So it's a lot to take in all at once, but here I am.
Right on, man. Great to see you. Great to see you. How was your summer? You and I were chatting earlier. I did not know you were such an avid bike rider. I did not know that about you. How many K did you put on?
Probably 1,000. Yeah. Just through the River Valley mostly. My wife and I went to Banff I was telling you about this great ride. I don't actually want to mention it too much because then everybody's going to do it, but probably too late now. The Bow Valley Parkway shuts down to traffic in June and September. It is the best way to see the mountains. It's fantastic. You're just out there alone on the road and no one there. So great summer on the biking. Getting ready for hockey myself.
Yeah, ever done any biking in and around the mountains, Struddy? I know your family gets out the odd time.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, we've done it. Yeah, we've done a bit. I think we did about Jasper to Banff, did that one time. And there's I love it out there. It's nice. I don't love the uphills as much as I used to, but I guess you got to take it to get the downhill. You got to get up there.
All right, David, part of the reason we wanted to have you on, aside from the fact that we are well overdue by 4 seasons and not having you on yet, I know you've been paying close attention to the Oiler rookie camp and the exhibition games. You've written some articles over at the Cult of Hockey as well, talking about a few players here and there. I think I want to start with the names that people were most curious to see here in Ike Howard and Matt Savoy. Let's maybe start with Howard here, because I think he's the guy that a lot of people are talking about right now. Maybe more so, David, because he hasn't necessarily stood out the way some, I'm not sure if some expected him to at this camp. I don't know what your expectations coming in were, but it sounds like he's been just okay so far through a couple of games where some felt maybe he should have been able to distinguish himself a little bit more. What have you seen?
Well, Stauffer was reporting tonight he was off the ice for 5 days in a row just before the games because he was at some kind of NHLPA orientation event. Mm-hmm. So that's what I had fairly high expectations, but not out of control. I mean, he was 31st, I think, overall in the draft. So, players there have like a 1 in 5 chance of breaking into the top 6 as a forward. It's not great. Like if he does, he's defying the odds. He reminded me a little bit, and you guys might remember this player, Mike York from the Oilers, who also played at Michigan State, just like Ike Howard. They're the same size, and their scoring was really similar at Michigan State. So York was kind of a skilled guy, fast, a little bit gritty, mainly a skilled guy, second line winger. And that's how hopefully Howard's going to come across. He didn't rush with the puck. He made some defensive mistakes. One of his guys scored a goal from the slot. He didn't get to him in time to cover him. But he made some really nice passes. And he was combined with Matt Savoy often. They were looking for each other. And I was really impressed that they weren't trying to hog the puck or make too much of it. They were really working with each other. And he did a good job. I mean, in the second game he came out, I think he wanted to come out and shoot. So he came out shooting a lot more in the second game. He didn't score, but he came close right at the end. So he's still getting his feet under him. I think just looking at the makeup of the team, the expectation should be that he will start in the AHL. And I know that's not generally the talk, then the hope that he'll start in the NHL, but I think the AHL is a good bet. Let's see how he does there for 20, 30 games and go from there.
Struds, I know you want to ask Dave some questions too, but I want your opinion on this a little bit, Struds. What were your expectations on Ike Howard coming into the rookie tournament, just in terms of his ability to distinguish himself a little bit? What were you thinking coming in, Struddy?
Mm-hmm. Anytime you see a young player with high expectations, you do want to see some separation between his peers. I don't expect Ike Howard or even Savoy to come and dominate with NHLers, but against his peers, you should have a step up. The fact that he didn't skate for a few days, yeah, I could see it. There's probably some nerves as well. But you do want to see some separation, that ability to create something that others can't, others being lower drafted players or younger players or undrafted players. You want to have that separation. You should have that separation. I guess, my question about Howard, what did you notice anything as far as the retrieval of pucks, of forechecking? Because if you're playing with Connor Leon, they can't be the only ones going to get those pucks. It's David.
He looked like he was keen to do it, but he didn't look exceptional at it. Like he wasn't. All 3 or 4 forwards stood out more than he did on the rookies team. Savoy was way ahead of everybody else. This young Finnish forward, Viljami Marjala, I think is his name. He stood out way more than Ike Howard did. Quinn Hudson stood out way more than Howard did. So there's players that right now, based on those games, are ahead of Ike Howard. Now Howard's younger than two of those guys. He's not younger than Savoy. So you have to take that into consideration. But yeah, he's not going to come in and take camp by storm. Unlike Savoy, who really did, Jason, he stood out way head and shoulders above everybody else in those two games. He was, I was trying to think who he reminds me of. And the first thing that comes to mind is like smaller players like Yamamoto. But really that's not his game. And what he reminded me, and this is a high compliment, probably a stretch, but he reminded me of a smaller version of Zach Hyman, because he gets in there and he hits and he forechecks and he digs, and then he gets back and he digs and he forechecks, and he's got great skill. He came down the boards in the last game in Calgary. They're down by a goal and they're out. Howard and he are out, and he comes down, rocketing down the boards, and takes a hellacious hit, but makes the pass into the center of the ice for Howard's one-timer. That's Savoy. He was getting it done.
There was talk too about him working on the penalty kill a little bit too. And I don't know if at the NHL level, that's something that, he's going to be able to contribute anytime soon, but Struds, for a player like that, if he can even, like, I know he did a little bit in the American Hockey League, and if it's something that he can add to his game, like he's in one of those positions, Struds, where he might not be able to lock down a top 6 spot, 4 weeks out of the month. Like he might not be able to stay there, but if he can just figure out other ways to try and get anything done.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something that I'll be interested, David, to get your insight. He doesn't have the long arms. He doesn't have the long legs. Savoy's not a big guy. So when you're on the blue line and you're now passing that puck around, there's a lot more space. And that's nothing Savoy can do about that. You could be the fastest guy on the planet. But we saw that when they try to have Yamamoto sometimes killing penalties, there's just a lot more space rather than a player like Podkolzin. Their reach might be what? We're talking 6 inches on each side between the stick and the length of arms, David. So I don't want to be the guy that says it's not going to work, but it would be a challenge for a smaller player to do a good job on the PK, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. And we didn't see a lot of him they were out on the PK, but it was just a small part of the game. So it's hard to say right now, but I remember Yamamoto and Derek Ryan sometimes penalty killing together and having that thought, like, this doesn't work. Like they're passing around these guys for a reason. I think it's a fair criticism, but
and
based on what I saw so far, they're hustling. So they have to have superior anticipation and reading of the game and hustle and agility to make up for that. Savoy might have that, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah. Bo Akey, he's a player that Oiler fans are always interested in. What have you seen so far, David? I watched 3.5 periods or so, and I thought he looked decent. Like he moves around well. I think he's smart with the puck. Like there's definitely something there. But did he stand out enough for you for where he's at in his age and development?
He didn't particularly stand out. I mean, he's kind of trended down since his injury, since he was drafted in shoulder injury. So he stood out in a good way because my expectations weren't high, and he didn't have a particularly good year in the OHL last year, but he looked really, he looked like a typical smaller, smart defenseman, really good with the puck, confident with the puck, moving the puck up ice fast. He wasn't trying to rush it. He wasn't trying to make any kind of great plays, but he was making the simple play very well. And I always appreciate that in a defenseman. No, he was, playing that Normie McIver game from way back when, and there's been players who have played it since then on the Oilers, but he was good, but he's not burning up the ice or anything, but I don't think he was trying to. I think he was trying to have a solid game, and he succeeded at that.
What about Connor Clattenburg? It seemed like there was a lot of different discussions about him from Flames fans and Oilers fans about the way he performed out there.
That guy, like, it's hard to believe he was drafted in 2024. He looks to me like he was drafted in 1975 because he looks like every tough guy who picked on me in high school. he looks like he is right out of 1975. He should have been on the Philadelphia Flyers, and he plays. So he loves to hit, and he picked 2 fights. And he had a great goal, I think, in the first game. He moved in and scored. He's fast on his skates, So maybe he's going to get that, Kelly Bookberger kind of game going after some time in minors, obviously. There's a 6'8", 230-pound 18-year-old player on the Flames, Matthew Phillips, and he was pretty rugged. He was hitting. And so first Clattenburg picked a fight with him. And then in the second game, not only does he run him and absolutely knock him on his feet, when the guy's on his butt on the ice, he reaches down and gives him a face wash to just rub it in.
It was such a good hit. It was such a good hit.
Perfect.
And then a little insult to injury.
Yeah.
As your tweet said, insult to injury. Interesting. Well, listen, David, we're going to leave it there. We really appreciate your insights. I know you were paying really close attention to rookie camp, and we'll definitely have to have you back on again at some point this season, man, if you're willing.
Glad to come back, see you at the rink, Struds. I see you coaching those kids those kids skate like crazy, man. It blows my mind, their skating ability.
I know. Save me a spot in the vintage hockey. My time's coming.
Before we let you run, David, just wanted to say, we were all thinking about you guys so much last year when we lost such a great friend to the Edmonton media and the Edmonton fan base, and Bruce McCurdy. Was so thrilled to see you get back up on your feet and keep the podcast going. The Cult of Hockey, and I don't need to tell anybody about it because you guys have been around forever. One of the originals here in town, one of the ones that I looked to when I was trying to figure out how to do all of this. But just really happy that you kept it going. What can you tell us about plans for the Cult of Hockey? What season are you in? I've noticed you had a few different guests. Kurt Levin's checking in here and there. So what do you have planned this season?
Yeah, we usually podcast after every game, and we'll continue to do that. I don't think we've missed a game. So we've been going, the blog, the Cult of Hockey, has been going since 2007, and the podcast since about 2016. And the amazing thing is we have not improved one iota in that entire time.
It was good from the start, though. It was really good from the start. So there you go.
Watch this year, man. It's our year.
Right on, buddy. Well, listen,
thanks, buddy.
Available across all podcast platforms. And, of course, read your stuff at the Cult of Hockey. Dave, really appreciate your time, man, and hope you can come back again soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that is David Staples, a mainstay for Oilers fans. Always a good read and a great listen on the podcast as well. Really happy that Dave was able to join us. Okay, let's take a break. That was our first ever breakdown brought to you by our friends at the Canadian Brew House. When we come back, Rob Brown is going to check in. We're going to have all your favorites, Brownie Points and so you can get all your comments in here on the stream. Zuby, as always, is tending to it and keeping an eye on it. So we'll get to some of those questions a little bit later on. This has Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments. Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca. All right, welcome back to the show. Time now for takeaways brought to you by HSE Core Services. Need a safety program? They build it. Need it managed? Yeah, they can do that too. Stuck dealing with those online safety registries your clients make you sign up for? They will handle those too. If you're a business owner and you deal with this stuff, HSE Core Services can help you. They also do core audits as well. Visit www.hsecor.com. That's hsecor.com for more information. Robbie Brown, welcome to season 5, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Did we just start? I didn't miss anything, did I? Like I was brought me in for, for the season premiere right from the beginning, correct?
Yes.
I'm not
we wanted to start with all of our headliners ready to go, Brownie. Yeah. No offense,
Completely
buddy.
understand.
No offense. Yeah. We want to deal with the golf summit now. Are we going to get into that? Or I mean, people have been asking me the results and such.
Sure.
Of the official golf summit, Struds. I don't know if you want to go
don't
over
roll
what
it out.
happened.
Yeah, let's roll. Well, I didn't even know what happened at the end. Everyone had to run. We were like scattered to the wind.
Yeah, everyone was in a big. Well, okay, so we did get a got your match going. There was 3 of us. Also, Gurpreet, our good buddy from McDonald's, also joined us as well. So in the teams game, it was a win for Brownie and I against Struds and Gurp. Wasn't that close, Brownie. We kind of ran away with it. Struds' game on the back 9 kind of fell to pieces. Is that fair to say, Brownie?
You know what? In all honesty, it fell apart when he did a podcast halfway through the round and missed 3 holes.
Yeah.
I mean, that really. I mean, that poor Gurp. His back was sore for carrying the team, so it was a tough moment. We actually didn't see Struds for about half an hour as he stood on a tee box by himself, entertaining everybody that was driving by. So I think that's where they started to go sideways.
It's bad golf karma, Struds.
Yeah, well, broke my rhythm. I was trying to help out a friend with his podcast and broke my rhythm. And it took me a while. Then I finished with 4 pars, but no one cares. No one cares if you finish with 4 pars. Like, it's not, I'm sure other people did that, but not in this group, not you 3 guys, but I did. But whatever, like, let's not dwell on that.
But I don't understand how this works. So we've got this game scheduled, right? It's on the books. Somebody says, hey, Struds, can you do my podcast at 9:30 on Friday morning? You've got an 8:30 tee time, and you go, yeah, that'll work. Like, he literally had to sit out a hole and a half while he sat on his phone. It was the worst golf form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, so what it was my buddy Tyson Nash. He runs the Nash cast, and he pinpointed a time for Ryan Huska, the head coach of the Calgary Flames. So when a head coach finds a time in the NHL to come on your pod, it's hard to reschedule. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I'll take one for the team. And I literally took one for the team.
Actually, that was the best your team was, though. That was the best that his team played in golf when Struds sat out for those 2 holes. Gurp was unbelievable.
Well, other than the 4 pars in a row, like, I mean, whatever, 4 pars, who cares? Like, I'm sure you guys did that. I'm sure at some point. But, yeah.
So, anyways, the result of this terrible golf karma, Struddy not only got schooled in the team game by Brownie and I, but he also came in dead last of the foursome and most certainly of the threesome here. Yeah, Struds, both Brownie and I shot pretty good.
I didn't even know what we shot. What did we all shoot?
You don't want to know what you got there.
You don't want to know
with
your
score, 4 pars. You might have, but didn't break 90 with your 4 pars.
No, I don't.
It was the other 14 holes. 14 holes you really struggled with. And we didn't even we gave you pars on the ones that you missed. So I mean, you're counting those in your 4 pars, right?
No.
Somebody is reminding me, Shane Matheson says, Shogger, remember, he booked a vacation for Game 7. That's true.
Good point.
You have made a habit of booking things at inappropriate times.
Well, did he show up on time tonight? Because he's the one that picked the opening night podcast time, and then he's the one that sends, I'm going to be late. You picked the time tonight.
It was close. Well, they're doing work on the White Mine. They shut it down. There's an accident. So I was like, I left. I thought it was going to be plenty of time. Usually it takes 10 minutes to get home, but it took me 20, 25 minutes. I made her, though.
He did. We were only about a minute or 2 late. So it could have been worse. Anyways, Brownie and I were sharing the title this year. We've played against each other twice, Brownie. Both times we've both shot 83s. So we have yet to have a winner between you and I. Strud, you're bringing up the rear, back of the pack on got your back in the golf tournaments. So you practice up, and we'll next year we'll give you another shot at the title.
That's fair.
Let's talk a little bit of Oilers here. Brownie, we were just chatting with David Staples about rookie camp, and one of the stories coming out, and I see some fans are really nervous about this. I don't think this is something that people need to be too concerned about. It's a couple of rookie games. But I think people were expecting Ike Howard to stand out perhaps a little bit more than he has. So for the way this player has been heralded with this trade and expectations coming in through 2 rookie games, he's been just okay. I don't know, Brownie, what do you make of that? I know that you were at the lake and such and didn't necessarily get to see all the games, but what do you just make about that idea that he hasn't overwhelmed at this point?
Well, I go back and I've done a few interviews about him. He's had one good season ever. I mean, last year he won the Hobie Baker, but it was his 3rd year. He's a little bit older than the other players. The 2 years before that, I think he had 8 goals. So it's not as though this guy has been a superstar forever. And I think there was really high expectations. And Struds and I have been talking about, if this guy was a superstar in the making, the Tampa Bay Lightning aren't moving him that quickly. And I know that he wasn't going to sign, but they would have made a much better push to get him to stay there. So he's got warts in his game. He's got a great opportunity here. There's some high-end centermen that are looking for pure goal scorers, but he's never played against men. And it is completely, you take the World Junior team and they'll play against a university team, and the university team will win every time because they're older and more mature and they're men. Now you're taking a young kid coming into the NHL, you put him against men. He's only ever played against kids. So it's going to take him some time. He will get every possible look here in training camp and exhibition season. I fully expect he's going to play most of this season in the minors, learning what it's like to become a professional, and that's both on and off the ice. And hopefully the skill level that he has will eventually shine here in Edmonton. But my expectations for what he was going to do this year, Struds, were not high. All my eggs are being thrown in the Matty Savoy basket. That's who's going to be a part of this team. I don't think Ike Howard's going to be a big part of this team early, especially early, but possibly the whole season.
So you're talking development, and I agree. I think there's got to be a lot of that. If he is destined to be in the minors, I'd like to see him play a game with one of those guys, at least an exhibition, so he can see what it's like, understand how fast things move, how fast the puck comes, how fast all those things happen, not just with your guys, but with other teams, other teams' top players. And I know that it's hard to get best on best in exhibition, but still NHL players are way above what college players are. And then you get to the minors, and then there's clear direction. This is what you need to work on. This is what we need you to do. This is how you have to do it. And then help them develop and grow. And because they make no mistake, they need this guy to be a player. They need him to be, if not a top 6, a top 9. They desperately need him because there's not a lot of youth studs or young studs in this organization right now. 2 of them were in St. Louis. So they need this one to come through, and they got to do everything right with them. You're muted, big guy.
So sorry about that. So what's a reasonable trajectory for a prospect like this? Low Tide wrote an article over at The Athletic listing a couple of comparables. One of the ones that he threw out there that I thought was interesting was Matt Coronado. Spent his first season kind of split it between the American League and the National Hockey League, and didn't put up a lot of points. Then in his second season, really got his feet underneath him and is becoming a really valuable contributor. We saw a heck of a good year from him last year. So I think in terms of reasonable expectations this year, and we'll see what he brings to main camp. I mean, sometimes guys thrive when things pick up and the players around them are making sharper passes and better plays. And just sometimes guys thrive a little bit more. So we're going to give Ike Howard the space to just see how this goes. But I think if we're setting out expectations, there's nothing wrong if there's some time in the American Hockey League this year, running power plays and playing top line minutes and that sort of thing. He hasn't played a game of pro yet, Struds, and for a guy to step right in from college hockey into a top 9 role in the NHL, that is a pretty tall order.
It is. So the word I'm going to use is stability. I don't want to see a situation where he's up for 2 weeks, down for 2 weeks, up for 2 weeks, down for a week. Over here, just leave him. If he is going to go to the minors, then just leave him there. And don't say you're going to be there for 40 games. Just you're going down there to work on your game and get organized. And he might not like it, and that's fine. He doesn't have to like it, but he has to learn that he's learning. He's understanding. He's trying to learn. So I remember Pugliarvi's first year. Wasn't it up and down and over here and up? It was just, I thought it's chaotic. Young players need stability and they need guidance. And you can't do that when you're up and down, Brownie, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what the expectations for? I have no idea. I've never seen him play. I'm interested to see him in exhibition, what he's capable of doing. But the one thing, and I know this from experience, when you are a strong offensive player in junior or in college, you aren't usually as good on the other side of the puck because you never have to play it. He's not going to be playing for the Edmonton Oilers unless he's a strong defensive player. He just can't. They've got guys that can score. They've got their first power play unit. They've got their superstars, their 4-on-4 guys. He's not getting that ice time. If he wants to play in the NHL, he's got to get pucks out at the blue line, pucks in at the red line, retrieving out of the corners, good on the back check, reading plays defensively. And until he learns that, it doesn't matter what he can do shooting the puck or how good he is with the puck on his stick. They've got those guys already. So to me, he'll go into the minors and he will learn the other side of the game, the defensive side, because most offensive players that are younger, coming out of junior or college ranks, never learned how to play good defensive hockey because they didn't need to. And now he needs to learn it.
And again, I do want to state again, we're going to see what this player does at main camp, because there is different opportunity here than maybe there are in other places. The Oilers need young players on entry-level deals to come in and contribute. So I think a player like this is going to get lots of opportunity to find his footing, and I think we'll see him get lots of exhibition action, and we'll just see how it goes. So not going to count out any possibilities yet. They haven't even stepped onto the ice for main camp yet. So we'll watch it all with an open mind. Expectations for Matt Savoie. You guys know this player pretty well. Brownie, what do you think? What do you think, buddy? Like, there's a top 6 spot sitting there. We'll see if Zach Hyman's ready to go for the start of the year or not. If he's not, ding, 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 more opportunity there for Savoie. But what do you think? What's a reasonable expectation?
Well, I think the reasonable expectation, he's going to play for the Oilers this year. The difference between a Howard and a Savoie's played against men. He's played in the minors. Savoie is an all-round player. He's very good defensively. His work ethic is second to none. I've known him since he's been in grade 4. I've had him at 2 different academies. He led by example. There was no arrogance with him, no matter where you saw him. He's a guy that he came to the practice. He worked really, really hard, tried to get better. So that is, if Ike Howard wants to see how to get to the National Hockey League, watch what Matt Savoie does. So I think my expectation is Savoie will be on the team. My expectation is they will push for him to be a top 6 player and hope it works out. But if it doesn't, they have a top 9 player that can play in most situations, because I think he's got a very good defensive conscience to go with high-end skill.
Yeah, I think he took a big step last year, right? Just going down the minors and playing. Liked what we saw. Remember what it was one of his first shifts. When dug the puck up from behind the net, passed to Leon. Like, that's the best way to make friends with the best player on the team, is to get the puck to him. And not that Leon doesn't get it, but he wants that. He wants someone, oh man, you go get the puck for him. That's why he likes Podkolzin. So, what would a line look like? He, Podkolzin, and Draisaitl. 2 big bodies, a smaller guy for sure, but good hockey IQ beside him. So I need to see these guys in action and up with speed. But I think if you're Savoie, you want to make a case every time you step on the ice that you should be A, on the team, and B, playing in a significant role in this group, which is top 9 and hopefully top 6 if he really gets it going.
Yeah, great opportunity sitting there for him. Just really, really good opportunity. And they brought some other guys in, right? It's not going to be easy. Like Mangiapane is brought in. He'll be fighting for that ice time. We know Leon Draisaitl loves playing with Vasily Podkolzin. We'll see what happens with Howard. Trent Frederick is a player that, who knows, potentially could see some time up in the top 6. He's double-digit and beyond goal potential there. So there's some players that will be competing for these spots, and we'll keep a close eye on it. Rookies are basically wrapped up here. The way this is going to go the next couple of days, the Oiler main players, they're going to report for main camp on Wednesday. Thursday is the first day on the ice, and they got 3 days on ice, and then you got exhibition season getting underway on Sunday against the Flames, and we're off and running through exhibition. We're going to keep knocking off podcasts. Basically, we'll go 4 a week from here on out. So keep it tuned to all of our socials to see when our next pods are going to be coming out. A couple of other things we're keeping an eye on here, guys. I am told as of today, status quo on the situation with Connor McDavid. Here we are. few days away from training camp and still no contract in place. And I know we talked about this in our bonus episode a fair amount, but for anybody who didn't get a chance to listen to that, this has gone a lot longer than I thought that it would at the end of last season. I think it's gone a lot longer than fans probably thought that it would, maybe even than the organization thought that it would. That idea was out there that this was going to get done. But as of right now, Struddy, it's not. I don't know what information you gather between now and the start of the regular season that you didn't have before. So I'm not sure what changes in there, but my understanding is there still is just not a decision made here on what he wants to do officially.
So I was at the Morgan Wallen concert on Friday night when Connor McDavid walked out, and it was neat to see. And one of my buddies sent me put together a meme or something. It said, Connor McDavid is literally doing anything other than signing with the Oilers right now. It was the funniest thing. I was dying. But just like you, Shogger, I thought this would be done. I thought for sure before training camp it'd be done. Interesting here that, nothing's really changed in there. I still think it gets done. I just can't believe that with Leon signing, he didn't know that would happen. But if he's trying to look in the crystal ball, I think that's a really hard thing to do for a team and to show Connor what he could do. So I still think it gets done. I'm guessing now before the season, but now I'm just guessing because I thought for sure before the regular or before training camp, Brownie.
Yeah, in all honesty, I get asked this all the time. I have no idea what the holdup is, other than he keeps saying I'm looking everything through. But in all honesty, Strud, you and I both know that, over a 48-hour span, you would have every scenario laid out in front of you, and you would just go, okay, I'm going to go with this one because this one financially, team, everything. So there's nothing that's going to change. I don't think that could change from day one of training camp to the first day of the season, or from first day of the season till December 1st. It's more or less, this is your team and you know what your future is. You know what players you got in the system. You know who's signed, who's not signed. So I don't know what he's thinking of, but then again, I've never had to sit back and look that far in the future when it comes to anything in my life, let alone a hockey contract. So I'm with Struds and with you, Shug. I believe it will get done, but I do find it a little odd and strange that it is not done yet, because I don't see anything changing that would change his mind one way or another.
Mm-hmm. So we said at the end of last season that if he sees the chance to win year over year, then signing an extension shouldn't be an issue. Came back this year and he said it's not about belief. He has to say that, right? He's not going to sit there and say, I'm not sure if I believe in this group after this season, right? He said he has as much belief as he ever has in the team this year, and I believe that. He believes strongly in the group that they've assembled this year. I think the concern has to be, potential drop-off in the years that follow. That's the only thing that makes sense. And it's not like he can stand there and say that. Figuring out what does this look like next season, the season after that, the season after that, right? He's 10 years in here and been close to the cup, but doesn't have it yet. And so, maybe just a reticence about what it looks like down the road. And if you're not sure what you want to do, when you're Connor McDavid, I think, if you're the agent and people advising him, it's probably like, well, you don't have to do anything, man. Like the ball's in your court. So if you don't know yet, don't worry about it. Just wait until you do. And I think that's some of what we're seeing here, that he's just not sure yet what he wants to do. And he doesn't have to make a decision. There's no deadline. There's no artificial deadline to put on this thing. And I think we're kind of on that cycle right now. We're just not quite sure yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. It is the subject of our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll tonight, helping you play better golf, except Strud since 99, same as he was last year. Their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction, after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Go down, check out their pro shop style atmosphere at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Was at DeBoer's a ton this summer. Recommend you go check them out. Zuby, what do we got for the poll tonight, buddy?
It's a fan. It's a fan thing. How are you feeling, poll? So the question is, how are you feeling about Connor McDavid's contract situation? The choices are not worried at all. It's coming. Second choice is a little rattled, to be honest. The third choice is this is not good, Mav. And the fourth and final choice is the sky is falling.
Right.
So that's taken a little bit further than than just the Top Gun reference. So those are your choices. So how are you guys feeling about it? Struddy, I think Struddy, you said it's coming. What do you think, Brownie?
I'm not worried. I think he'll sign, and there's no use worrying about something you don't know which way it's going to go. I think if he decides all of a sudden the season starts, like, yeah, you know what, I might just play it out. Well, now we can worry, because what do you do at the deadline? But as of right now, Schauger, I'm not worried. I feel it'll get done. It's just a matter of time. But again, just like Connor doesn't have a crystal ball about 4 years from now for the Oilers, we don't have a crystal ball that tells us when and if Connor McDavid's going to sign.
I feel still reasonably confident that a contract will get done, but I'm not convinced it'll get done before the start of the season. I could definitely see this going into the season without a contract done. Still reasonably confident it gets done before the start of next year. But again, that's just a gut feeling. Let us know what you think, and we'll wrap up the YouTube poll a little bit later in Ask Us Anything. All right, time for our first Relentless Player of the Day. And yes, they are back. Our charitable partner here on the show, UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in helping 16 to 24-year-olds step out of harm's way and into meaningful work. Great organization. So thrilled to be partnered with them here on the show. Make that change today, right here at home. Visit ucan.ca. They got a brand new building on the go this summer. Just a fantastic new operation. They really hit it hard. They've worked so hard. They're hoping to push through almost double the number of youth through UCAN in this upcoming year. So they're taking on a lot. We're proud to be a monthly donor of UCAN Youth Services. And if you can, please do the same thing. Struddy, what do we got today, buddy? Muted.
You're muted there, Chief.
If you haven't been watching the Blue Jays, you're going to...
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, was that you, Zuby, or was that him?
What?
Start again? Start from scratch.
He's back.
Yeah, you got me.
Ready, set, go.
If you haven't been watching the Blue Jays, you got to watch these guys. They're so much fun to watch. These guys are absolutely incredible. They play for each other. I love watching them. And today they had their young stud pitcher come up from Buffalo and played Trey Savage, a major league debut, 9 strikeouts this guy had, and he's an absolute stud. And I don't know if he's going to get another start after this. The rotation is pretty solid. It maybe becomes, an option in relief at some point. But he was really good today, and I love this team. I've never liked a Blue Jay team like this before. They're just good, hardworking guys. And there's another stud, like I said, up from Buffalo to drop bombs on guys from the bump.
They are fun to watch. I think that was 5 in a row come from behind victories.
Yeah.
That kid will get another start. I mean, he struck out 9 in his debut. They're good. I mean, my favorite were the Robbie Alomar years and Joe Carter. Those were my favorite years. But
good
this
guys.
is a team that it's funny. You look at your score thing on your phone, like, oh, the Jays are down by 3 going into the 8th. And then 20 minutes, you look, oh, they won in the 9th again. Like there's no quit in them. And they've got big injuries right now, too. Bichette's out right now. So it is a fun team. So I agree. Good relentless players tonight from Struddy.
Buffalo? Is that, are we going to go with that from now on? Is that?
Have you ever been?
I like
in the winter?
I did. Covered a World Junior there.
Jeez, must have felt like a lifetime. We used to go there and stay, and we stayed this hotel on these paper thin walls. It was, oh my God, I hated it there. Hated it going there. But maybe it's nice now. I don't know.
Struddy,
all right.
Did you have an honorary mention for Daniel Jones?
Oh, did he have a good night tonight? I didn't even
Well, he
see
didn't
it.
play tonight, but he's 2 and he's had 2 good nights. He's got the Colts
know.
to 2-0 there.
I know, but he'll find his way. But I hope he does well. But I don't know. I don't. Yeah, he left us. Well, we kicked him out actually. The Giants. We're 0-2. What do I know?
We'll get to some more Giants talk later, maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Lots of good comments coming in here on the Weiss Johnson YouTube chat. Time for us to hear the jingle for the first time this season, because our YouTube chat and our sound box brought to you by our friends at Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Their end-of-season AC sale is now on until the end of October. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. New website for you to visit. Listen up. It's wjjingle.com for exclusive specials just for the Got Your Back jingle lovers. So that's wjjingle.com. That's Weiss Johnson, wjjingle.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
There it is. You've been wanting it. You've been waiting for it. We're going whole thing, first episode, Zuby.
I was just waiting for you to start talking, then I have to take it down.
Oh, no. wjjingle.com. Oh, big finish. To the Weiss Johnson YouTube chat. Oh, I lost the one that I was going to do. Zuby, where was that one?
Who was it? Was it back
was
to
such a good
Barfalo?
one. Some speculation. No, that wasn't it. The point that was being made, I apologize. It shot its way up the chat and I lost track of it. Basically, someone suggesting that it's pressure from the Players Association on McDavid to take, as much money as possible, that there might be some pressure that he's feeling to try and do that. There it is. Machine Gun Leon. Some people saying it's pressure from the PA and the agents to take max dollar. I think it's more on management direction that needs to be shown to his camp. I would agree with that. This is not, whoa, hey, oh.
Easy
What
there,
is that
Chief.
happening on the screen there, Zuby? That is aggressive.
I got out of
You got to back that thing off. Oh, there you go. Okay, reposition that.
Pardon me.
Yeah. No, don't mind us, folks.
Hold
Episode
on.
one of a new season.
I'm gonna fix this. You guys keep talking. It's just gonna be
Okay,
over.
we'll keep talking. Yeah, we're not going to see anything near a max deal. Like, McDavid addressed that, I did an interview with him. He talked about this idea that people suggesting he's going to try and squeeze as much money out as possible. He said, anybody that thinks that doesn't know me very well. So I don't know that this number is, I don't know, it's going to be 16. I don't think it's going to be much, if anything, over that on a shorter term deal. Might even be sub. We'll wait and see. Does that sound reasonable, Struds?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the term, obviously. And as far as the PA, I mean, I understand that there is pressure for those top guys to keep dragging it up. But I mean, it's Connor McDavid. At the end of the day, he can do what he wants, right? He can choose to do, I believe, what he wants, and guys will get it. Like, it's not like he's going to drag it down and take $7 million. Look at Sidney Crosby. Has he always maxed out his dollars? I would suggest to you he's been under. So, Sidney was the flag bearer and the prodigal son for many years. And Brownie, correct me if I'm wrong, but he never drove the price way up. So I think that's a bit of a, I understand what people are saying, but Sid was the guy before Connor, and Connor, I don't think Sid did.
No, I agree. I don't think there's, I'm sure the NHLPA would love for Connor to take the max, but I don't think there's pressure on him. I really don't. I don't think the NHLPA is called, hey, Connor, before you sign, this is what we need. I think there's zero pressure on him. As Strud said, Sidney Crosby signed for $8.7 million every year. I mean, he's worth double that. And you never hear a negative thing from the Players Association or anything about Sidney Crosby. So I think there's zero pressure. And I don't think Connor McDavid feels any pressure. He's put himself in the position that he can sign for whatever he wants, and everyone will be happy with it. So I think there's no pressure. I think this is Connor McDavid deciding that I'm going to take my time and figure this out properly before I make any decision.
All right. Zuby, lineup-wise, got a little bit thrown out of whack here. What I would like to do is I would like to take our break now.
Yes.
Then we come back. I would like to do Brownie Points and Struddy's World, and then we're going to set Brownie free for the rest of the night. And then Struds and I will finish with Take a Lap and Ask Us Anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, let's do that
one more
then.
break, so.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We can let Brownie go on the fly. Okay, we'll be right back here on Got Your Back. Struddy's World, Brownie Points are on deck. Stay with us.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Yes, it is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Ready for a deck that will last? DLR PVC Decking brings you Vecca Deck and Wolf Serenity. These are exclusive boards with a pure PVC core resistant to water, mold, UV inhibitors. Your deck stays looking new without the sanding and staining of wood. In stock now at both Calgary and Edmonton locations. Visit www.dlrvinylproducts.ca. Big thanks to DLR, our original sponsors here on Got Your Back. That's my brothers, Rick and Rob. And they are back for season number 5. Struddy, take it away, buddy. The inaugural Struddy's World.
So, you know, my kids never saw me play in the NHL. You know, there's some videos, and they always give me a hard time about how I wasn't that good, or did I even play in the NHL? So it's nice when I'm walking around town and someone recognizes me. It makes me feel good. Not that I needed to pat on my back, but just so my kids say I'm legit. I was a legit player. So this summer I was at a local card shop. I love the cards, and my kids love them. So they're in there. My 2 boys are looking at cards. I'm sitting there with my one son, just going through some cards. And the guy walks up to his 2 kids. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't believe I have to do this, but I'm such a huge fan of yours, Jason. You're my favorite player of all time." I'm like, "Oh my," and my son's looking at me like, "I can't believe this is happening." I'm like, "Yeah, I was pretty good." He's like, "You know what? The way you were physical, you worked hard every shift. You know, you were such a good center." I'm like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, you'd win so many faceoffs, you'd score a lot of goals. You know, you're a first round pick." I'm like, "Oh, please God, just walk away." And he goes, "Jason Arnott, you're my favorite player." So the guy, so my son's just looking at me like, "What the hell's going on?" So he's like, "Can I get a picture?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So the guy comes in, takes his picture with my kids, and me, the 3 of them. And so he probably still thinks it was Jason Arnott that was in that thing that day. And the guy walked away. He's like, "You still think you're a big deal?" My son said. I'm like, "No, I felt about this tall."
Wow.
Oh, that hurts. That really does. And I know what it's like when you want to impress their kids. And there was a time that we went to my son, we went to the store, I think it was Walmart, and they had those old hockey cards. And he's in the back seat, and he got my hockey card was in the package. And it was just like this incredible thrill for me, for my son to pull out my hockey card. So I know when you're like, you just want that moment where, because again, my kids were, I think they were 2 when I retired. So they never saw me play. So just that moment. So I know what you were going through, and like that hurt my soul as you were telling the story. I'm like, oh. So if your kids are watching right now, I played against Mr. Strudwick, your father. I watched him play. He was an excellent hockey player. I never saw him lose a fight. Great team guy. Your father is I'm going to throw it out there. You are a legend in my eyes. So if your kids are listening, your dad's a legend.
I'll pass them along.
Mm-hmm. You know, in one way, Struds, like, I feel like you should be a little bit flattered. Like, if I recall, I mean, I think Jason Arnott's a pretty sharp-looking guy. You know what I mean? To be mistaken for him, like, good head of hair, square jaw, good-looking guy. I mean, you could spin this the other way. I mean, Shona would be thrilled if Jason Arnott walked through the door.
Yeah. No, I mean, when it comes to looks, there's very few people I play second fiddle to. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I'm a lead singer in most rooms, but you know, my ego wasn't looking to be stroked to how good looking I was. It was about the hockey, but I could just feel it coming when he started going on and on. I'm like, Wait, did you see me play?
There is a very funny comment here that I want to bring in, but the thing is going to be wonky. So I'm going to adjust it as we go, but I wasn't able to do it last time. But let's just throw this in if I can from Tyler Mulek, who says, "Oh, this worked. I wish I could be like your kids. I would love to forget seeing you play hockey."
Wow. Tyler, that's aggressive. That's aggressive for episode 1.
Yeah, it's a good chirp.
Wow.
That is a good chirp.
That's a good chirp. Like the best chirp last year was the one when Pronger couldn't come, and the guy's like, "This is the worst thing that Pronger's ever done to the Oilers organization."
Yeah.
Like that was one of the last games of the year, and this comment comes in the first episode of the year. So well done, Ty.
Yeah. I know who that was, by the way, Struds. I had an off-season conversation about potential sponsorship with the guy who sent that in.
No.
Yes, I did. I chatted with
funny?
him on the phone. Yeah. Funny guy.
Was he proud of that one?
I'm not going to say his name right now because I don't know if he'd be all right with that or not. But yes, I spoke to the guy.
Put your name on
had the tweet of the year. Put your name on it. Nice job. Good start, Struddy. Self-deprecating, funny, entertaining, all the things we love about Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Now, Zuby's been hard at work too. Let's roll it. Brownie, you're going to love this. A new animation for Brownie Points.
What?
Yes. Nice work, Zuby. It is time for Brownie Points, brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. Ram Power Days are on now. Get 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on your favorite 2025 Ram 1500 pickup. See your Alberta Ram dealer today. From the big, beautiful mind of Rob Brown, straight out of that brain. Episode 1 of Brownie Points.
I was a little worried about what they were going to pull out of that in my head there. Like, oh, this could not go right for me. Anyways, the first Brownie Points of the season, I got minus 128 Brownie Points to Kirill Kaprizov, who turned down the biggest contract in National Hockey League history, $128 million over 8 years. If you think the stress level in Edmonton is high right now with 97 not signing, you imagine what it's like in Mini right now, where the guy, their superstar, he turned down $128 million. Stress would be high there. I have minus 77 Brownie Points to all Oiler fans. It's been 77 days since Connor McDavid was eligible to sign an extension with the Oilers. And it's been quiet, very, very quiet in Edmonton, yet very noisy everywhere else, as everyone else has an opinion on where Connor McDavid will end up. I got five big Brownie Points, and this goes on the back of the Struddy's World, I think it was Struddy. No, the Relentless player. 5 huge Brownie Points at the Toronto Blue Jays, who won their 5th straight come-from-behind game to put them 5 games up on the New York Yankees. Here's hoping there's a couple Canadian sports franchises holding trophies at the end of their respective seasons. I got 21 Brownie Points to a couple of 21-year-olds who are trying to crack the Oilers lineup this year and contribute to a Stanley Cup competing team. Both will get opportunities this preseason, to play with 97 and 29. Here's hoping one or both can grab onto this opportunity and run with it. And finally, this is a big one. I got 3 big Brownie Points to my buddy Schauger. This is my 3rd season on the pod, and I'm hoping that 3 is the magic number that allows me to finally agree with something that Schauger says. So there you go, Schauger, 3 for you. Fingers crossed. And those are your season opening Brownie Point.
You know what? I'm not going to be picky. I'm taking them. And you know what? I'm in the lead. Shoggy 3, Struddy 0. I am in the Brownie Point lead this year. We're going to track this year, Zuby. That's a big win for me tonight.
Yeah, maybe, Brownie, you got them written down. Maybe you mail them or text them to me or email them to me, and we'll put them in a spreadsheet or something. Or my wife will.
I'll do that.
Between me and Struds, you keep a running total this year. But you have to be legit. You always pretend to give me ones, but then backhand slap me across the face. But you got points. You have to be willing to give me legit ones, because I think you're always just joking all the time.
Well, how about you say something legitimate?
Okay. That was Brownie Points. Brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealer. Zuby, you didn't get any brownie points for your fancy new intro. I thought that was a bit of a slight and an oversight. He could have adjusted on the fly there, I think.
He'll probably go back, rewatch it, as I know he does to every show, and then he'll adjust for the next one.
What, you mean, I thought this thing was live. You can't actually watch this show again, can you?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yes.
Yeah, the second it's
It's
done, it's
just
gone.
vanished.
No.
It's on Snapchat. It just disappears the second it's finished.
Shane
Snapchat
Matheson says, zip it, Shogger. You're about to lose them. I should just quit while I'm ahead. Brownie, we'll let you quit while you're ahead, buddy. Thanks for doing this. We're going to drop another podcast on Wednesday after some veterans report to main camp and do some media availability. So we'll do some more camp previews on Wednesday night, buddy.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right. Yep. See you, Brownie. That is Rob Brown. Zuby, we don't have a break here, right? Or do we?
We do not. We're all braked out.
We're just rocking and rolling now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to our next segment though, then. And let's welcome brand new partners as well. We're going to take a lap, and that is brought to you by our new partners over at the Bridge Physiotherapy. This is a big one for me. Rehabilitation at the Bridge offers a comprehensive approach that extends beyond temporary pain relief, focuses on developing long-term strength and resilience to support an active lifestyle. Learn more at thebridge.fit. Now, Struddy, go to the Bridge. I went to the Bridge this summer. I was having a problem with my arm, and I've been having a couple of other issues. I've had some extensive visits there. And we are going to see through the course of this season, I think this is going to be pretty life-changing for me because I'm going to dig in. They've got some legit stuff going on over there, and they might be able to put a dent in the situation that is my personal physical health.
I'm excited about it. And this is a journey you've been having for probably 45, 46 years, right? Just looking after that body properly. So I know the guys that are the people at the Bridge. I'm around them a lot. And so I've seen them. I've seen it. I know what they're all about. Whether it's rehab or training or whatever, they're a good group. They're really, really good. So I'm excited to partner up with them, but I'm excited for you to get the help you need because that body needs some loving.
So what I like about their operation, quite often it's like you got to pick. You either got to go to physio or you go to chiro or you go to massage, and it's all different places. They combine it all. So they got the physio, they got the chiro, they got the massage, they've got like workout gear. It's just they're really well equipped and they're really knowledgeable. So super happy to have them involved with the show this upcoming season. Greg's chirped us today when we put out on Twitter that our first episode was tonight. He said setting the over-under at 3.5 minutes that you talk about your array of injuries. Hashtag Charmin is what Jason Greger contributed. We are now 66 minutes into the show, Struds. I lasted before I said a word about anything physically wrong with me.
No, what I think we need to do is you need to highlight an injury or two, and then we'll follow your journey to recovery and strengthening. Because I know what they can do, and now we know what we got to help to get you at that point, and feel good about that body.
Let's see what I can do. So I had the forearm, and they do the needling, and it helped immensely. But I hate needles. So the latest thing that has cropped up, I'm too scared to make an appointment. I'm having an issue with my groin, and I'm really worried if I go in there, they're going to want to needle my groin. And so I'm kind of hesitating to even make the appointment because I'm afraid that's going to happen, but they know what they're doing. I should just trust, but groin needles.
I've had the needles before. It feels so good. There's so much relief there. It helps so much, so much. So I'd recommend just, doing it and getting in there. I mean, there are people that'll take a couple drinks before they go to the doctor. Maybe you could follow that person's lead, Not that I know that guy or girl.
We'll keep you up to speed. We'll keep you up to speed on how the health journey is going. Struds, let's take a lap here, buddy. A couple of other stories going on around the league. Let's zip through them. What do you like?
Yeah, we're getting close to the start of the year. So obviously, Pete DeBoer was recently interviewed, and he talked about how he mishandled the situation with Jake Ottinger. He said that in immediately after the game when he was asked about it, and he kind of, it looked like he was throwing a lot of the problems on Jake Ottinger. And I believe ultimately that's what was the reason he was fired or replaced. He said, I wish I would have used the word we. We didn't do enough. And he said, I myself didn't do enough as a coach. My assistant didn't do enough. But he goes, Jake was singled out, and that was wrong. I wish I would have used the term we. So kind of knew, we're not surprised, Shogger. I mean, that's really mishandled that.
Yeah, well, and I think he needed to get on the record with that too, right? This is a good coach, and he's going to make his way back into the league, coaching the part of John Cooper's coach for the Canadian Olympic team. Needed to get on the record, kind of setting that whole thing straight. Ottinger went on the record about those comments too and said, I'm glad he said that. So that's, I think, part of what needed to be heard for Pete DeBoer to kind of push through this, and he's a good coach that'll find work again soon.
Patrick Roy also was in a feeling apologetic this summer. If you remember last year, towards the end of the year, he talked about Anthony Duclair and how bad he was. He said he was god awful. He was god awful. He said it twice. And, he was lucky he's even in the lineup, and I reduced his ice time.
He ripped him post game. He chewed into him. And then he even said, sorry if I'm kind of ripping into him right now, but it's how I feel. Like, he didn't hold back.
Yeah. He hammered him. So apparently he and Anthony Duclair got together this offseason. There was an apology made, and apparently now they're on the same page. But there's no doubt Duclair is a better game there. But as a coach, I think that, Patrick Roy, as a player, is very emotional. I think as a coach, he's trying to contain his emotions. But he's a fiery guy. So hopefully the Duke can figure it out, because the Islanders have a lot of work to do.
No kidding.
To get themselves going. And then lastly, if people want to talk about Connor McDavid, they talk a lot about Sidney Crosby as well. Sidney was asked, he's out kind of giving out season tickets to fans or to season ticket holders. And he was asked about what he'd like to do moving forward. And he said, I want to play here. I want to finish here. With the
I got the clip here, Struds. You want to hear it?
Okay, let's hear it. Oh, yeah,
let's hear it. So to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here, this is Crosby earlier today.
There's a lot of narratives out there, and I don't think a lot of those have come from me. So, this is where I want to be. I love it here, and I can't keep having to answer the same question over again because of these narratives. If people want to write about that or say that, that's fine, but I can't really control that.
So there it is. He's going to be facing that question a lot. He's starting to push back a little bit, which is understandable. He did a ton of that at the NHL media car wash a few days ago. So he's faced that question a lot, Struds.
I think it's just hard for people, for anyone, to see Superman go out like this, right? To go out, this year, I think this team's going to be very weak now. Maybe we'll be surprised, but how do you see the Pittsburgh Penguins becoming a Stanley Cup champion in the next 2 or 3 seasons? I don't see it happening, nor does anyone. So do you want to see him go out laying on his shield? And that's it. Like, that's not how you want to see Superman go out. You want to see him go out in a blaze of glory. And I think that is so I don't think it's so much Sidney shouldn't be in Pittsburgh because it's whatever, bad team. No, it's that you want him to go out on top. So I don't think this will go away. I truly don't, because people are concerned about how Crosby finishes his career.
Yeah. He does have the benefit of, he was part of the Four Nations. He's going to be part of the Olympic team. Every 2 years, they're going to have this best on best international stuff. It's not like there's going to be no meaningful hockey for him to play and get that taste of winning, but it's not Stanley Cups. And it's definitely kind of sputtering out there. And especially if Malkin ends up leaving, hey, that's one of the things too. If Gino goes, that changes things too, doesn't it?
Well, for sure. And Shogger, we're not just talking about not Stanley Cup finals. I don't think we're even talking about playoffs. I think, look at that division or that conference. How do they get in? So, Sid, I have no doubt Sidney says what he means. But I think a lot of people would like to see him go out on his, as a winner or competing at the highest levels.
All right. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our friends over at the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. And a big welcome to them to our Got Your Back podcast. Zuby, why don't you hop in here, buddy? Let's wrap up our YouTube poll. And I think a fairly measured response from Oiler fan tonight, I would say. Hey, buddy?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a little bit surprising even. How are you feeling about Connor McDavid's contract situation? Only 57% saying not worried at all. It's coming. I think people in their hearts want to believe it's fans want to believe it's higher. It's more likely than that. 24% admitting some real honesty here tonight. A little rattled, to be honest. 11% saying this is not good, Mav. That's a step down from that, and 7% say the sky is falling. So, pretty surprised. A pretty honest response, and obviously people thought they'd like to have this done before September for their team, but the story rolls along.
Let's rerun that same poll on December 5th.
Yeah.
and see where things are at. I don't know if it's going to get that late, but be interesting to see as time goes on if that trepidation goes up. All right, time now for Ask Us Anything. Zuby's been monitoring the stream tonight. We always have such a great group of contributors here on our live stream, and we thank you all for joining us. Real solid number here on our opening night. And Ask Us Anything brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. Rates are falling, the market's heating up, and that means opportunity. Maria Gallus has the lender connections and the strategy to get you more options than the bank ever will. Don't settle for average. Check out mortgagesbymaria.ca. And thanks to Maria for coming back on board here as a Got Your Back sponsor for season number 5. Zuby, take it away, buddy.
Okay, we had some good kind of over-under type questions come in early on, so let's go to them. Blommer in here early, as we are not surprised to welcome him. He says over-under 42 games for the big club for Matt Savoy. It sounds like we've already answered this. Let's throw Isaac Howard in there too. Let's do both, Struddy.
Over for Savoy, under for Howard. I really think that I'm guessing. He's Savoy's going to get a chance. He put his time in last year, and maybe Ike Howard has a similar kind of first pro year, like we saw from Matt Savoy last year.
I will go over for Savoy, and I'll take the under for Howard, but I do think we're going to see a stint where he comes in, gets an opportunity, gets to, wet the beak a little bit. I'm not sure if that's 10, 15, 20 games. We'll see how he does, but I'll take the under on him, but I'm not sure that it's going to be by a ton, I would say. And again, let's wait and see. Like, did you see that comment there from K. Gill? Zuby, should we really be making judgments on Howard without seeing him play preseason games? Let's not forget that he has not played pro, and it's been 3 months since any hockey at all. And we were saying that while we were talking about the word on him at rookie camp. We're going to let it breathe. We're going to give him every opportunity to, it's a clean slate start main camp. Let's see what he can do. So fair point there by K. Gill.
Let me add on to that another question, which is that because of the way things went last season with the team kind of languishing in the regular season and them being able to seemingly turn it on when the playoffs rolled around, because of the cap situation, do you think there would be a willingness to let these young players with lower salaries experience more growing pains up with the big club and feel like some of those big mistakes, let's work them out. We know we can turn it on once the playoffs roll around. Do you think that's a possibility, Schauger?
I think if they're smart, they'll place development as the top priority. So do I think that there'll be a level of patience to live with some young mistakes? If in the big picture, they're getting the development they need, yes, I do think that there's something to be said for that. I think there's room for them to be a little bit more patient. But at the same time, Struds, they need to play. And so they need to keep getting minutes wherever they are. And I just think it's really important. It's like development is the top priority. So wherever they are, they need to be playing.
100%. I love the way you phrase that about development because, the goal is to win a Stanley Cup this year. But, you're going to have Leon and I'm guessing Connor for a number of years. They need to have players that can play with them that are getting younger or are younger players. So, I don't want to see Ike Howard or Savoy in and out of the lineup playing 8 minutes, useless. down in the minors, get them playing, get them going. Or if you're going to have them here, then play them the 10, 11 minutes. And it's good. It might hurt. It will hurt. Young players make mistakes, but you got to let them work through it and get going. These kids have high IQs as players.
I also think that part of this is on Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid as well.
100%.
You know, they have to understand that the future is not exactly blazing bright in Edmonton, and that part of their responsibility, and they know this, I sound like I'm lecturing them, but they know this, part of their responsibility as leaders and forwards and skilled players on the team is to make sure that these young guys, you know, stay between the lines and learn what's required of them, but also Struds have the breathing room, right? To be comfortable. Like Ike Howard's coming in. Kid's got lots of personality. He's got some swagger, some cockiness. Like, you like that. The locker room needs that. And I just think it's really important for these guys to make these players feel comfortable, give them an opportunity to blossom. Don't make life too hard on them. Don't be too hard a veteran on them, because they need these guys. So teach them the right way, Struds, but give them every opportunity to feel part of it at home and confident.
For sure. And young players bring a lot of energy to the room. And this group, they need it. Like, they've had a lot of hockey lately, and that's a good thing. But they do need that youth to come in and bring that youthful exuberance, because it's a very veteran team. So, you know, I know when I got older, I liked the younger guys, you know, whether it was Sam Gagne or Cogliano or Tom Gilbert, you know, Gilbert Brulé, I liked them, being around them, because they'd bring energy and everything was new to them. And they're like a young puppy just running around the house with their head cut off, right? And then you like that around, but you have to guide them. Doesn't mean you just let them run wild. You have to guide them and kind of direct them and keep narrowing that focus so they become the best version of themselves for your team.
Struddy Machine Gun Leon wants to know, what's the story behind Kyle Dubas's background pic on Twitter? Have you seen it? I guess he changed, or I don't know if he just changed it, but it's a photo of you and Gene and Stoff and Santa Claus. It's at Christmas time, and it's like a screenshot. And I think I believe
for this now.
The question came up, and I believe this is the real Kyle Dubas, but of course you don't always. It's a screenshot from, or is this?
You got that up, Zuby?
Do you know anything about that, Struddy?
No, I don't know anything. No, I don't know anything about it.
Why would he have that as his banner pick? That makes no sense. Is this the real? It's got 107,000 followers.
Big fan.
Yeah, and that's other than that. That's the only thing. We've got your back, and Ray and Dregs both follow him. So
that's funny. I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize.
Wow.
He's a huge fan of Gene or Bob or Santa or me, I guess, possible. You know, I don't know. You know,
big fan of the podcast. I think it's because of the pod. He's a big fan of the pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Zuby, couple more, buddy.
Yeah. So Brownie mentioned Kaprizov in Brownie Points, but there's a number of people here. Let's use Suze. She says, how much is McDavid not signing his contract until Kaprizov signs his contract? We know Kaprizov declined. Connor signs after to ensure the highest contract. Do you think these two are connected in any way, Struddy?
It's an interesting point. I mean, I had thought about that, because, you know, he is not under any pressure to get it done. I guess it would be, is it important for Connor McDavid to be the highest player in the league? Is that what is it's important to him? I think that as soon as he signs it, the clock starts ticking when someone's going to get a bigger deal than him. So it's possible, because there's no rush for him to sign. So I guess possible, Schauger, but I don't know if it's probable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Connor's fixated on that. And you got to compare apples to apples as well. So Kaprizov turns down 8 years at $16 million. What do you think McDavid's number on an 8-year deal is? It ain't 16. Try 17 plus, 18 plus, right? The more years you're buying off of them, the more expensive it gets. So if McDavid does a shorter term deal, is it possible that a player willing to do a longer term deal can get a higher AAV? Yeah, that's absolutely possible, but you're not comparing apples to apples. The length of the contract matters, and it drives the price up.
Okay, two more here. Mo is going a little bit abstract here. He says, is Tomasek the next Panarin or the next Nygaard? Without diving too much into that, there's lots of people want to talk about this guy too. What do we think he's going to be? Is there a spot for him to start on the big club in game one, Schauger?
I mean, he's going to have a really good camp. Like, the Oilers have lots of players under contract, and the Oilers have some veteran players that are going to be in and around that fourth line. Zach Hyman's situation, it depends a little bit on that and whether there's an opening there. But, let's say Ike Howard isn't there to start and Hyman isn't available. Now you're in a scenario where you've got, you got Kapanen, Jones, Lazar, Tomasek. They're all floating around there. Philp. They're all kind of floating around there, Struddy. So in a scenario where, Howard doesn't look like he's quite ready yet and Hyman isn't available to start the year, could he be in a scrap for that 13 forward position? And I think the Oilers maybe don't go with a full roster to start the year. Yeah, I could see him in there.
I think he's got to have a good start to camp and let people know what he can do, because he's got a really good shot. He won't be showing it on the power play. That's for sure. So how can I support this team and help the team 5-on-5? Because I don't know if he's killing penalties either, right? And how do you get those minutes up? So I think he's got to come out and treat every shift like it's his most important to really get off to a good start. Because you're right, he's competing with others. I've got a funny feeling he gets a chance to, to start. I don't know why. I don't have no insider information, but there's never guarantees. But I do think he gets a chance to start here, Shaggy. I feel that way.
Yeah, he'll be one we're keeping a close eye on. And in the opening podcast of Exhibition and such, we'll talk, I think, a fair amount about him and what we see, because he's a guy that we've got circled to keep an eye on.
Okay, one quick comment here before we get to the very important final question. Mars Boy pointed out, he said, David Lee Roth makes fences. I never realized that before, that we got the DLR initials. And I'm wondering if maybe we want to do some sort of collaboration with DLR. With the song Panama by Van Halen should definitely be in one of those ads. I think we might have to there's got to be a collaboration there. It was a good spot by Mars Boy.
Yeah, it was not David Lee Roth. It's really simple. My dad started a business and was like, I figure out it's Donna and Les Rishaug. That is the name. That is the secret sauce behind DLR vinyl products. Donna and Les Rishaug. There you go.
There you go. Okay, Blommer is got the hammer here. He's going to say, all right, it's time. The most important question heading into October. ... Pumpkin spice, yes or no? Struddy, you can go for, I know you're a coffee and tea aficionado.
Yeah, no, but I'm not wild about pumpkin. So yeah, I mean, no, I just say no, just for the pumpkin issue.
Not a pumpkin guy at all. Can't stand pumpkin. Yeah. Don't like pumpkin pie. Don't like pumpkin spice. My wife's been talking about pumpkin spice since July 27th. Looking forward to it coming out. So no, that's a sour point for me. I'm still trying to enjoy the last of summer and everybody's all excited about fall.
Right.
I'm not having any of that conversation at all. Not okay with it.
Mr. Macchiato doesn't like pumpkin spice. I find that hard to believe. I love the pumpkin spice baking. I like my coffee flavor too much to want pumpkin spice in there. But I'll tell you what I am excited for, not pumpkin spice, but eggnog latte season is just around the corner. Oh, if you haven't had one of those, I think they start that in fall now. Anyway, if you're looking for a good way to gain a few pounds before Christmas, you could start with the eggnog lattes, as I do.
You got to jump on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's early. That's aggressively early. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria Gallus, mortgage broker. All right, let's wrap up our show as always with our play of the day, and a big hello to another one of our new sponsors, Mainline Water and Sewer, a trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and placement. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause those basement backups you want nothing to do with. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day. They're efficient, complete with backflow protection as well. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. That's mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. And a big welcome to our friends over at Mainline. Struddy, what do you got for a play of the day today, buddy?
Well, I didn't have this plan, but when someone steps up and delivers a performance like Tyler did on the chat, you got to respect it. And earlier I was talking about how my kids, didn't see me play, and he goes, I wish I could be like your kids and forget watching you play hockey. That is an unreal chirp. That might be the chirp of the year.
Strong.
And it's episode 1.
Episode 1. I'm going to have to actually track some of the better chirps this year, Zuby. That might make for an interesting show at the end of the year, going over our best chirps. Start a file somewhere.
I'm gonna make a note of that actually right now.
I like that. Although people are going to it's going to get vicious because people are going to want to be on the list and they're going to just start ripping our souls apart.
Right. Fair point. Yeah, you can rip me. I can take it. Don't rip Shoggy. Brownie doesn't care either. He's fine.
He doesn't pay any attention. All right. I don't know, guys. I would give us a rock solid B+ for the opening episode. Like, it's not even preseason yet, so it's, not a lot to bite into, but I think it was pretty solid, Struddy. I thought the show looked good, sounded good. Maybe the bar isn't high enough, but I'm good with it.
Yep. No, we got it going, and we'll call that our fitness test today, and we'll get it going again on Wednesday when everyone gets rocking around the league.
Carman Gills is giving us an A++, so I didn't even know there was an A++. But I thought you nailed it with the B+, Shaw. You don't want to start with an A. You got to have something to build to. So I thought it was perfect. In that
Dutch
sense.
Oven, great handle, bud, says Shogger's easy to rip, Struds isn't because he is so likable. Ouch. Okay, Dutch. Thanks, Dutch Oven.
Jeez.
And
Dad got a shot in there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, good job, boys. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, including our proud title sponsor, Timber Haas Developments. We'll drop another pod on Wednesday night. Till then, keep an eye on our socials, and we'll talk again real soon. Night, guys. See you, everybody.